Eren Jeager is known as a great MC and most people love and praise him, but with things that happened towards the end of the manga, specifically in chapter 139, and now with the additional pages coming out, people have been having their doubts, either saying Eren's character is ruined or that all his efforts were all for naught, and basically saying his death was in vain. So today we're going to talk about Eren's character development and talk about was his character ruined or not. If you guys enjoy regular anime content, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that out of the way, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's talk about Eren's character. Eren was never a bad person or never a good person. I'd say he was someone who was selfish just as everyone is, and not just in AOT, but IRL people are only out them for themselves. I believe Eren is a tragic hero, someone the dark and cruel world of AOT needed, but didn't want. Everyone wanted to find peace without killing, but if that were possible, there wouldn't have been war between the Eldians and the world. Well, it wouldn't have lasted this long. So even though the world didn't want a monster, Eren tossed aside his humanity, became that monster in order to attain peace for his friends. Start of this series, Eren's mother was killed by a Titan, which is why Eren vowed to get vengeance for her. But in 139, we realized the reason she was killed was because in order for Bertold not to die, he lured Dinah away from him, where she ended up where Carlo was. So in order to go down the path that he saw when he kissed Astoria's hand, he made himself hate the Titans at the unhealthy rate we see, so that he could become a soldier and do everything that his future self needed him to do. And also, if Bertold wasn't saved, then Armin would have died in season 3 and wouldn't have been the one who was fighting with Eren towards the end. And speaking of Eren seeing the future, he actually couldn't. Well, sorta. Could Eren see future events that would happen? Yes, but he didn't know what would lead to what and when they would happen, which is why in 139 he stated the Founder's power made it to where time basically existed all at one time, where he saw the past, present, and future, causing him to lose it psychologically. And I see a lot of people saying if Eren could see the future, why didn't he prevent some things from happening? Like, let's be real here. If Eren could see the future, then he wouldn't have just let Gabi shoot off his head. And also, if Eren could see the future, well, changing it would be a bad idea. The way we're going to look at this example is if you change the past, it affects your future. But the correct way of time travel is how it was explained in Dragon Ball Super with Future Trunks or Avengers Endgame. But doing it this way, it could cause a lot of confusion for people, even though this example can work for both scenarios. We are going to be talking about the baby Hitler debate. A lot of people say, yes, if I could go back in time, they'd stop and kill a baby Hitler because he grew up being the tyrant that he was, killing the Jews during the Holocaust, etc. When the correct answer is to not kill him. Reason being because even though Hitler, what he did was wrong, we don't know if he did or didn't prevent someone who could have been an even bigger tyrant or something far worse than Hitler ever was. It sucks, but leaving history as it is the best option, which is why even if Eren could see into the future, doing something like saving Sasha could have had a big effect on the rest of the story. I said this earlier that Eren was a selfish character, but he's also very selfless as well. He's selfish that he does things for what he wants, but in those selfish acts, they're for the benefit of other people. If someone tried to take away my freedom, I don't hesitate to take theirs. Isn't a quote just for himself, but a quote from others. Examples including him always fighting bullies for Armin's sake, him trying to avenge Thomas after being eaten, him being the suicidal bastard his friends call him and got himself killed so that his friends could live, him saving Mikasa from being sex trafficked, etc. And a lot of people now believe Eren sacrificed himself for nothing, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. But let's look at Eren throughout the different seasons. In season 1, Eren was a naive kid who was always angry and was trying to understand why different things were happening to him when he just wanted a normal life, striving to attain that by driving out the Titans. Season 2, Eren was gaining more knowledge about the Titans and about different people because that's when he truly introduced the fact that there are way more Titan shifters out there. Betrayal of his friends put a lot of added stress on him, and the fact that people close to him were giving up their lives so he could live. Having to live a life where people are dependent on you when it's not something that you asked for is really hard and cruel, not just for a 15-year-old kid, but anyone. You have to live a life not just for you, but for the others that risked and sacrificed their lives. which is what the big deal of season 3 Eren was about, struggling with the pressure of not living up to everyone's expectations, and is why he broke down. Someone who's never asked to be a Titan shifter, never asked to be such an important person, had lost his will to fight. And it got even worse once he gained access to his father's memories and got to see who his true enemies were, was burdening stuff from other Titan shifters as he saw what happened through Grisha and his past experiences. Now, season 4 Eren's a little bit different from the rest because there were two types of Eren. The one we see for a majority of the season and the one we see in 139. Eren put on a cutthroat facade, being heartless, not showing any care, and being a savage because it's what he needed to do to get the job done. He became that monster in order to win and achieve his goal. Now, I don't justify everything that Eren did. I can understand why he snapped on Hanji because he was stressed out where nobody was coming out with any good solutions, so he was irritated. And the table scene, yeah, it sucked because he did have good intentions behind it, but I still can't say he was right in what he did. But at the same time, Eren was tired of constantly seeing his friends die for him over and over and over again. So he tried to do everything he could to push them away, and it was truly heartbreaking. From chapters 96 or so till towards the end of 138, Eren was wearing a mask to where from the end of 138 through chapter 139 was Eren's true personality. Everything Eren ever did was either the scouts using him for his Titan powers or because of the path that Ymir showed him, which is why Isayama said Eren was a slave to freedom because he did what he thought would achieve his freedom, but in actuality it was all for Ymir's benefit. And in chapter 138 and 139 he expressed what he truly wanted, for Mikasa to be happy and that he wanted to be with her. The community bashed him and says it ruined his character, but Eren never said he regretted what he did, and he wasn't trying to redeem himself, which is why he accepted his death. But whenever you're faced with death, you say everything you truly want, and him being with the girl he loves, his soulmate, is not a problem. Also, I saw people say where Eren's confession was forced, rushed, and came out of nowhere that he was a simp, and that's simply not the case. It was always shown and heavily implied that Eren loved and cared for her. Maybe not to the extent of what Mikasa showed, but that's because he's not like her, not as compassionate, not as loving. And if you think otherwise, I think you read the manga with your eyes closed and you should try rereading it again. He taught her how to live and she taught him how to love, kind of similar to the Beauty and the Beast. And I hope that people know sex and physical interactions isn't the only way to convey love. There are the different type of love languages, including words of affirmation, receiving gifts, physical touch, acts of service, and quality time, where Eren's main languages are acts of service, which is him wrapping a scarf around her, and quality time, which is when he spent the 4 years remaining that he had in past. And I believe people are just saying this because him and Historia didn't get together and that he wasn't the father of her child, so they're just upset. Eren and Mikasa are soulmates, one of the best anime couples to ever exist, and eventually, well, I plan on doing a video about the two. The community got fooled just like Mikasa and Armin did. They came up with different headcanons and theories about Eren, and when it didn't come true, they got upset and said his character was ruined, when in actuality, they didn't understand his character at all. Now, there's nothing wrong with understanding something and not liking it. However, you can't say his character was ruined if you never understood it in the first place. I was never fooled by Eren's facade and knew he was BSing all throughout season 4. I loved and connected with Eren since he was first introduced and loved him and will continue to love him even after his death. Now about the additional pages. Was Eren's death in vain? I'm gonna say no with an asterisk. Eren had 3 primary goals. Number 1, freedom not just for him, but his friends and for them to live long lives. Number 2 was to save Paradis. And number 3 was to wipe out all of the Titans and avenge his mother. Well, he achieved part of the goals that he set out to achieve. His friends were saved and got to live long lives, but he didn't achieve freedom for himself, but he gained the freedom of his friends. Now, Paradis was eventually destroyed, so he couldn't achieve that goal, which he entrusted to Armin, and he did avenge his mother because he ended up killing the 80% of the population that was considered his enemies. Now, he was sorta able to wipe out the Titan powers because they did go away. However, with the tree being shown within the additional pages, we can speculate, well, that they'll be back. So was Eren's death in vain? No, his number 1 goal was achieved and was equivalent to goals 2 and 3 combined. However, I will say with additional pages, I do believe Isayama could have written Eren where he did survive instead of dying, but I'm not going to say his death was truly and utterly for nothing. To conclude, Eren still and will always be a great character, my second favorite MC of all time, and is one of the most mentally strongest characters in all of anime. And this video is not for me trying to convince you guys, if you dislike Eren's character or you hate him, to like him. It's not for that. I'm just giving you guys insight about his character. But let me know if you guys still like Eren's character. Let me know if you don't like it, and let me know why in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.